you going?
Oh, just loving it.
That's
How
always
are you
good.
going?
Yeah, not bad. Now that
Do you want to tell us what you're up to?
so I'm just installing a generator changeover switch and a appliance inlet for the generator.
What's involved?
What's involved? What's involved is installing this, which is a generator and mains voltage switch. So when the power goes out, they can walk out, flick it up or down, and then plug the generator into here, which I believe is up in the garage somewhere. So yeah, and then just got to connect up all this stuff into the switchboard, rejig a few things around so that the generator's only doing certain loads, and then yeah, good to go, be out of here. Arrived this morning, obviously scoped the job out, had a look at what I was doing, got all my gear out, then get it all set up. It's a little bit messy now, but it was tidier. I've had to drill a hole through the brickwork and then out into the side of the switchboard just up in here, feed a conduit through just so I can feed all my cables in. And yeah, obviously trying to keep the power on for as long as possible because the guy is working inside, I believe. So just then I've mounted the switchboard, I've pulled the cables through, and I've mounted my appliance inlet, all sealed up and ready to go.
Sort of plugging cables into these switches and whatnot.
Yeah.
What is there to think about in terms of safety, best practice, etc.?
I mean, this is all dead, so it's not like I'm going to get a shock off anything.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I know it's all dead because I've installed it and the other ends of the cables are hanging here, so I know that nothing's going to happen. But I don't know, quite often I end up pricking myself in the end of the finger with a cable and then it starts bleeding everywhere. That's kind of it's one to watch.
It's an uncomfy experience.
I mean, it is obviously just what happens, but not much you can do about it.
In terms of connecting that cables end to end here,
Mm-hmm.
what's actually like involved? How do they lock in place? How do they end up connected?
I mean, if there's a screw terminal inside each of these points, so as you screw it down, that clamps up on itself.
Like so. So what you're telling me is that it's like assembling IKEA furniture. It's all screw clamps.
I reckon it's easier than IKEA furniture, but that's just me. I can't read Swedish, so the instructions never make sense.
You heard it here first, folks. The electrical trade is simpler than assembling IKEA furniture.
Doesn't help when you got massive fingers though. And this moth keeps hitting me in the head. So I don't know what's been going on. It's been doing it all morning. It just keeps going for me.
It's just quite rude, really, isn't it?
Well, I mean, it doesn't make things easy.
So with your tools, is that mostly your own toolkit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You pretty much, most of us buy our own.
Yeah.
I know when I first started my apprenticeship, I think companies were a lot different. Like, my boss and a lot of the people I knew all had, like, tools and stuff. Like, we all had our own basic tools.
Mm.
But I think certainly the last couple of years it's changed pretty dramatically, I think. People don't look after tools.
Yeah.
If they're not yours. Like, I've had the same, most of the stuff in here I've probably had since my apprenticeship.
Wow.
I reckon. Tape measure and stuff, they break a fair bit.
Yeah. That's simple. Done.
Yeah. Just
Now
gotta
test?
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
which I'm just going to make sure it all works as it should.
Well, that would be ideal.
Would be.
So what's good and what's bad here? Beep is good, no beep bad?
Oh, I'm just making sure that like this is doing what it's supposed to do without. So now that's still linked to there obviously, but it's not linked to there.
Right.
But then that is still linked. So the generator. All right. So just for peace of mind, I'm just basically making sure that before I turn everything back on, that this changeover switch is doing everything that it should be. So I basically just want to make sure that when that's in the generator position, that this isn't connected to the mains power. And when this is in the mains position, that this outlet here isn't going to become live, which it's not. So I'm just going to do my IR testing and dead testing, and then I'll be good to go.
So what exactly does this test? What exactly does this test?
I just want to test these cables here, but they're not going to...
Are we testing cable health? What are we testing?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm just making sure those cables are good. So that there hasn't been any nicks or anything in them.
Nice.
While I was working. So I'm testing on 250 volts that way, just because I'm going between live and neutral. Nothing's connected, but just in case it was, I'm not going to damage anything.
So all done, just throwing the board back in?
Yeah, just putting covers back on and then a bit of labelling.
Nice.
And probably just a little bit of extra silicone. Yep.
That plug is fine.
That one?
Yeah.
Yes. And so is this. This is all IP65 rated, so if there's water getting into it, there's a problem. But I'll run a bead of silicone just along the top here as well, just to keep it nice and watertight. But yeah, no, that is perfect. Even if it rains and you got the generator plugged in, it's not a problem.
So now we're labeling it?
Yeah. Just to...
I see.
There you go.
I think I understand. I probably don't, but I think I do, so that's what matters. Did the trader buy? Done and done. Flawless.
There we go.
Another job well done, Cal.
That's the one. Another job well done. See you on the next one.